Hi everyone, it's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, and today we have a video that I think you'll find really helpful. It's an emergency healing tip for intense emotions. So anytime, whether it's through your awakening or in any aspect of your life, that you find really intense negative emotions coming up, you can use this healing technique, which literally takes seconds to bring yourself back down to calm, to centered, to feeling a bit more emotionally stable within. It's really a fantastic technique. Now, I'm going to go into this a little bit more, but I want to explain a little bit before we get into it, because if you're going through spiritual awakening, what you'll find is that all of a sudden your emotions are more intense and more sensitive than they've ever been before, and that can be really, really challenging. It can be really tough to try and maintain normal daily life when all this emotional turmoil is coming up within all the time. Now, what I want you to know is it's a normal aspect of spiritual awakening. It is all of your emotions and all of the stuff within your soul that needs healed rising to the surface. So anytime you feel those emotions coming on, whether it's something like depression or anxiety, maybe it's just emotional upset, maybe you're tearful and you don't know why, maybe you feel really irritable, it's all these different things are starting to rise up from the soul to be acknowledged and to be released, and that can be really difficult. So I can see some people have joined us live. Please say hello, tell me who you are and where you're from, and I'll give you a little shout out. And of course, tell me if you resonate with anything that we're talking about here. These emotions, dealing with that intensity, because it does come up a lot, and it is a huge aspect of spiritual awakening that quite often isn't addressed. It's like, how do you cope? Well, we've got something here for you, so don't worry. And also, we've got this little healing tip, but we've also got a free resource that's going to help you to deal with all of that in a much easier way. You're going to be able to cope, and you're going to be able to find your centre within really easily every day. So let's just see if I can get to the comments. Okay, so as I said, say hello, tell me who you are, where you're from, and we'll get into this content. Now, what we're going to do is try this emergency healing technique right now, and then I'm going to start to explain it a little bit about it, because I don't want you to waste any time, okay? Now, this healing technique is called EFT tapping. I'll explain more about that in a moment, but what you want to do when you're using EFT tapping is we're going to use the emergency point, and that is basically, if you think of being Tarzan and how you would bang on your chest, it's those points right there. Okay, now if you really want to be specific, see the little dent, the little bone that you feel just right there? You're going to go down an inch and over an inch in any direction. Okay, so you can tap one side here and just use your whole fist. And that means we don't need to worry about you getting the point exactly, are you tapping the exact part. If you use your fist, you'll make sure you hit it. Or you can tap the other side. Okay, so I want you to try that with me now. And of course, if you really want some real calming, you can use both. If you're uncertain, just use both. It makes no difference what side you use. It makes no difference how fast you tap, whether you're really fast or whether you're a bit slower. You can just take your time to get into a rhythm that's kind of at ease with you and where you're at emotionally. So try that now. So everybody doing that on the video, just want you tapping away. And what you'll find is that this point, we call it an emergency point, but what it's actually doing is tapping on an acupressure point. Okay, so you keep tapping right now, but that dent I was talking about, down an inch and over an inch, these are acupressure points. Okay, and if you were getting acupressure, they may put needles in that point. These are energy endpoints of meridians, of different energy systems around the body. And what it does is something really fantastic. First and foremost, actually what it does, we've done studies on it and we've found out that it can directly affect the amygdala. So the stress response of your brain actually gets affected by you tapping on these points. Okay, it actually affects it and it starts to turn it down a little bit like a dimmer switch. So the more often you do this healing technique, the more often you use it, and there's more to it that we'll be able to share with you in a moment. The more that you use that, what you'll find is that you actually become calmer long term. You become a more calm and centered person because you're turning that dimmer switch down on the stress response of the brain, which can be quite intense. And there have been studies done on that. You can look them up online. The second thing that it's going to do that we really find benefit in as well is it's going to unblock any blocked or congested energy pathways. So it's literally clearing blocked energy as you do this. What you'll find is that when you've done this for a few minutes, you start to relax, you start to feel just a little bit calmer. It just starts to turn everything down a little bit so that you can rest and relax. Okay, so you just keep tapping right now. Everyone tapping together. If you have any questions, we'll get to your questions. But this is the only point you need to know. There are other points that you can use, but right now we're just using one point. And you can use this every day. You can use it multiple times a day. You can never do too much tapping. Okay, there's no negative side effects. And trust me, I've tested that theory. I've done it for hours and hours and hours every day when I was practicing. So it's safe to do that. But you'll start to feel calmer. I'm starting to feel that now. Everything's just starting to settle down just a little bit. And this is especially useful if you find you have a moment where you're starting to panic, you're starting to freak out, you're starting to get really emotional. So if you start feeling those tears come up, you just take yourself off somewhere, even if you're only using one side, and you just tap and breathe, and you give yourself a few moments to regulate, to start settling down. If you start to feel a panic attack coming on, if you get anxiety and panic attacks, at this point is invaluable, and I know that because I used to suffer from anxiety and panic attacks and I don't anymore. And that's this wonderful thing about EFT tapping being long term, your stress response calms down. Okay, so keep on doing that. And then what I want you to know is just start to notice how you feel. Start to notice right now how you feel. You can even stop, take a big deep breath. And that's helpful. That actually shifts energy, that taking that deep breath, it helps to shift stagnant energy that you've been unblocking. And I don't know about you, but I can already feel a calmness in my shoulders. I feel a lot more settled within myself. There's definitely been an effect, and that's us only using one point. So let me know in the comments if you've tried this along with us and any kind of experience that you've noticed. There are no wrong answers, it's just all how you feel. Let's see, Amanda. Hi Amanda. She says, good morning, feeling very anxious today. Could cry at the drop of a hat. I'm sorry to hear that. Really common in awakening though, and I know we've all spent, I'm sure many people will resonate with this, we've all spent many days feeling that way. This is going to be your saving grace, this tapping. So what you'll probably find as you do this, Amanda and everyone else, particularly when you're feeling anxious, what it's going to do, particularly for awakening, is it's going to release all that anxious emotion. It's going to kind of take the lid off all that overwhelm, start to calm it down. So you're getting that relaxation in the physical body. And then also what it's going to do is all those charged energies of awakening that cause you to feel anxious, that can make you feel worse, are going to start to calm down. Okay, so you just keep at it. And of course you'll see me, I'm doing a little bit and then I'm taking a break and then I might go back to it. You might find that every day 2 or 3 minutes is enough just to help you find that centre, and that's fine. And for others, you might just use it anytime you're feeling upset, and that's okay. But you guys keep doing it right now. I'm going to check out some of these comments. So we've got Lee from Georgia. Hi there. We've got Nadia from New York. Hello. She says, I think I've passed that stage. I'm learning how to trust my spiritual gifts can be activated. They absolutely can be activated. Absolutely, no question. And see if you have a little look in our timeline as well, Nadia. We've got, we recently did a psychic wound healing, which was all about connecting to your spiritual gifts, activating them, waking them up. So you might be interested in some of those videos. Amanda's from Minnesota. Awesome. Excellent. And Nadia says, I'm trying to become a spiritual life coach and trust that I can help heal people. You have to trust it, absolutely. Doubt's been keeping me stuck from attracting the right people. Well, it's great that you bring that up, Nadia. And for anyone else who's feeling that, I can see Amanda said me too, so she's resonating with the same stuff. These are all the emotional issues that come up as we move through awakening, and they start to get in the way. Now, it's not a new thing. If you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling like you're not sure if you can step into this spiritual purpose, if you're feeling like you don't know if you'll attract the right people, this is all old stuff. You've done this lifetimes before. This isn't something new. If you're a healer or a psychic, you're a light worker, you've done it before. And all the kind of ghosts of the past emotionally start to come up again as we take that pathway in life. And that's where EFT can be a wonderful resource. Now, we've got a free 5-day course that will teach you in entirety how to use EFT tapping. That's what we've been using today, just that one point. But actually when we do EFT, we can use all sorts of different points around the body. It's really, really simple. It's really easy to use, but what you'll find is you can heal emotions and you can clear energy blocks. So any of that stuff that's coming up, any emotional issues whatsoever, you can actually clear it with EFT. And like I said, we teach you how to do that for free in our course. Really, it should be a paid course, but I want everyone to have this knowledge, because when you're moving through awakening, it's really tough to manage those emotions, and I wanted everyone to have access to that. You'll get video tutorials just like this, and you'll be able to tap along with me as I teach you all of it, and you'll have the basic method down in about 10 or 15 minutes. You'll know how to do it. So go and check that out at the link below, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get into that energy and enjoy it. It's so fun. It's so great. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, guys, and continue using your tapping. Let us know below what results you got, how you felt. Did you feel calmer? Did you notice you took a big deep breath? Did you start to feel mentally that your mind had calmed down just a little bit by using just that one emergency point? It's fantastic. So that's our tip for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to click below to be notified whenever we go live, because we've got lots more great videos to come. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel so that we can give you all the rest of our fantastic videos that are still to come. Have a great day. Bye.